Are we live?
We are live.
And we're live.
Hell, what's up, freaks and geeks? This is WeWrite with Caleb.
And Nick. This is not WeWrite Coast to Coast this time because we're not coast to coast anymore.
Can you explain why?
I'm not in Georgia. Anyway, so today's going to be something a little different. We discussed it last week. Instead of coming up with a new collaborative creation like we usually do every week, or every 2 weeks, or however often we do doing that.
Yes.
We are instead going to go back and revisit some of the original creations we made back when we first started doing this before we started streaming it. And we've got some of our, if I say so myself, some of our best work hidden back here in the pre-stream days.
The archives.
The archives.
We're going to visit the archives today.
For any interested in the WeWrite lore, we will not be revealing the first story we ever created together because it is unspeakable and will be hidden till the end of time at the bottom of the ocean.
One day we might do like a worldwide treasure hunt type of deal, but...
Yeah, it's going to be a Patreon exclusive for sure, though, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
We'll make some money off that one.
Unspeakable. Let me just...
It's truly unspeakable. So, we'll be starting with some other ones. And you wanted to revisit one of the ones we did stream, right? You wanted to go back to Gum Schubert for the lore heads, wanting to know where the references are coming from, right?
The lore heads, yes. The freaks and geeks who want more.
Freaks and geeks. I kind of want to go over the dream one again too, if we have time, depending on how long this takes.
Oh, I'm absolutely down. I'm absolutely down to go over the dream one.
The dream one had really bad audio in our stream. It was the early days, and it would be nice to revisit it with, half decent audio.
Here, let me see if we got Blue Moon in here. I think we'll take a suggestion for where to start because there's a lot of options here.
Yes. Is Blue Moon here?
I don't know. I gotta get the chat up. Hang on. On the screen right now, I've got last sessions. Oopsie.
Whoopsie. Yeah, last session apparently we didn't catch a lot of the comments. So if anybody was sad we didn't respond to you, it's because we didn't see it.
Yes, I was upset. I missed a lot of the comments.
I don't see anything, so it's really on Caleb, to be honest.
Yeah, on me. And I'm pretty sure we did mess up the first person present tense a lot, even though we tried to fix it.
Yeah, I haven't gone back and read it since we wrote it, so I would be surprised. That was a huge failure on our part. Was we are unable to write in first person present tense.
Yeah, I'm never even going to attempt that again.
It doesn't sound right anyway.
Right? Like what? You're there and they're talking to you currently?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I did like how it came together though, so thank you, Autumn Aesthetic, for your suggestions. Bringing some witchcraft.
What was the story last week? I don't remember.
It was Magic and Magnums is what it was called.
Oh yeah. And then because at the end, because the lighthouse, and at the end he shoots the heart. Yeah, okay, I remember. Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah, with just a gun instead of all his cool magic gadgets.
So I want to preface this. These stories were written before we were planning on doing this for the public. So some of these might be a little bit. There's a content warning. That's what I'm saying. Up top. We need a little content warning because we were a little bit more off the rails in the past. That's why the first one is unspeakable, never to be revealed, because
it was a real test of the waters.
Yes. We were testing each other's boundaries, and we found the boundary. We found the line, and we walked over it a couple times. So the first one will not be revealed.
Yeah, we did a little bomb sniffing on the other side of the line.
Yeah, a little bit.
Mine sniffing.
Is Blue Moon in the house?
No, if he doesn't have homework, he doesn't show up to class on time.
Oh.
I'm assuming he'll hop in. Um, yeah, I
All
was
right,
hoping
man.
for a suggestion of where to start because we have a lot. What is up with this? Why is this not in the center? What the fuck?
Did you already talk to Blue Moon today?
Oh, is it because I put Got it. Yeah, I hit him up. I just let him know that when we're starting, basically. Yeah.
Cool.
And he replied, "What the? Why is this one not centered? How am I gonna? How are we gonna look at this one? I don't really want to look at Oz Reimagined anyway."
Yeah, we don't have to revisit Oz Reimagined. That's fine.
Good.
That has a stream on it. If you really want to see our almost horror take on Wizard of Oz, you can go check out that episode. Oz Reimagined.
The ending is truly horrifying.
The journey is pretty fun. We had a good trip. There's some nuggets of pretty solid stuff in there. That ending is pretty bad.
Horrifying.
It's a really
I'm just making
thrown
sure
together at the end by two men who are at their wits' end. It's not not our best work, but it was fun. We really did it.
We wrote a story.
We did write a story, which is what we set out to do. So yeah, I don't know, man. So let's see. The ones that have not been revealed on stream, we've got the big reveal. We've got...
Yeah, we could start with... Well, let's start with something really fun. So I think...
Let's start with the big reveal. Let's start with something good. Also, bro, I don't know if we can do the big reveal because of how it ends.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And which is fine, because it's not the greatest story anyway.
No, it's really not.
But if we ever wanted to unveil that to the masses, I think we would have to change the ending a little bit.
Which, I don't know, maybe we can end the stream with me deleting that and then writing an actual ending. I don't know.
Yeah, cool, that sounds fun. Yeah, why not? Fuck it.
I think we should start with either Ronnie Kwan's diary, factual recounting, or I kind of want to save Raindrop Between Worlds for later.
I kind of want to save anything, like, even Ronnie Kwan's, which is, like, some of our best work, I think. I think we need to save it at least till Blue Moon gets here.
Well, we've got Revolutions of Love. We've got Trapinator's Demise. Yeah, it's pretty much between Trapinator's Demise, Revolutions of Love, and AP90. We can start with AP903, like an ocean in your eyes.
Yeah, let's start with AP903, like an ocean in your eyes. That's perfect. It's a short one. Give time for Blue Moon to get here, and then we'll go to Ronnie Kwan's.
It's a bit vanilla.
It's a little vanilla, but this was what, the third one we did?
Yes. Mind Bridge, Mind Merge. We're still figuring out what to call these. Now we just call it WeWrite, but...
Yeah, but back in the day it was either Brain Bridge or Mind Merge. Because, you know, if you don't know, if you're joining us for the first time, we write a story together each week where I write a sentence and then Caleb writes a sentence, and we go back and forth and create a story. So this was really our third attempt doing that. And this one we did a little bit different. This one we wrote, like, one person would write the scene setting and the other person would write the dialogue. So it kind of, like, it had a different flow to it. We were still figuring it out.
Man, your memory is sharp. Yeah, it would have taken me a minute to remember that.
Yeah, we, like, each wrote a paragraph and then came together instead of writing, like, sentence by sentence. So this one was a little bit... This one, if it seems disjointed, that's why.
Yeah. It worked pretty well, I think. Like,
we had to doctor it. We cheated a little bit towards the end, and we like spliced the paragraphs together, sort of. But it was still, yeah. Let's find out. Okay.
Okay.
This one's called AP903, like an ocean in your eyes. The spacecraft was full of whirring machinery and busy researchers. Outside the bay windows of the ship's bridge, the stars twinkled around the enormous mass of water that was AP903. I feel really close to you, Bethany. Some enormous skeletal fish-like creature burst out of the mass, twisting tantalizingly in the air before quickly dipping back below the surface, launching particles of water into space. Your emotions are misplaced. Our rapport is simulated.
The ship showed off its one-of-a-kind feature by wiping the water from the exterior of the glass.
Yeah, this ship, it's a very special ship. They designed just to go to this water planet. This isn't in the story. You kind of have to, like, pick this up as you go. But the special feature of this ship, cutting-edge design, has windshield wipers.
Yep.
So,
Cutting edge, one-of-a-kind ship.
They really are testing new waters with this. Anyway, so...
Classic Bethany. I'm gonna miss these little moments. Me opening up to you, you playing it so cool and aloof. That's what makes you a 10, Bethany.
That's what makes you a 10, Bethany.
You misread my responses.
Misread my response, Jeremy. I am incapable of reciprocating your affections.
Bubbles emerged from the creature they had taken as a test subject. It seemed to be watching the people on the ship as they went about their tasks. Fuck, that's hot. The creature was small and beautifully pearlescent. We just, like, squeeze this line in between the...
Dude, that's what I'm talking about. That's when we, like, splice together the...
I would have definitely had this, like, immediately after that, but we're...
Yeah, I don't know why we did it that way, but whatever.
We were splicing too hard. I'm just gonna do it.
No, don't do it. You can't edit it now.
Why not?
This is an artifact. It needs to show how much we've improved. This is not our best work, but it's
Oh, no, I scraped the artifact. No.
Whoops.
Okay, describing the critter. The creature was small and beautifully pearlescent. The light seemed to swim around its skin like ripples of a rainbow. I already edited it. Jeremy walked to the creature's tank and sprinkled some fish food into the water and pretended to tickle it under the chin from the outside of the glass. Its massive eyes seemed too large for its baseball-sized body. Oh, that was a really good description. That helped a lot.
There you are. Yeah, we didn't know at all what this looked like, except for its skin. But yeah, it's a big old eyes, little body.
They blinked as it fixed its gaze on Jeremy. You know, Bethany, I've always admired your ability to stay calm under pressure. That was how I was programmed. I do not possess the ability to understand or replicate emotions.
We both know that's not true, babe. You get me in all my complex emotions. Jeremy caressed the monitor. Jeremy, you Baka. I am going to call you Baka Boy from now on. As you can see, we were a little bit more loose with what we were going for here.
Finally, a cute pet name. It's so touching to see you breaking out of that cold shell of yours, Jeremy said as he choked
you
back.
Missed a great line. So I'm going to call you Baka Boy from now on. You know I love tsundere artificial consciousnesses. I think you taught me what tsundere meant then, or however you say it.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know what that meant, and then I Googled it, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. Like Sasuke.
Like Sasuke. Yes. Then, without warning... Okay, so this happened quickly. Then, without warning, the little creature began swimming frantically around its containment bowl. It swam in such tight circles that the water with it...
You know I love tsundere artificial consciousness. For fuck's sake, that is why you are a Baka Boy.
My eyes literally just, like, skipped over there.
Finally, a cute pet name. It's so touching to see you breaking out of that cold shell of yours, Jeremy said as he choked back tears. Oh, wow. Finally, a cute pet name. So touching to see you breaking out of your cold shell. That cold shell of yours. Then, without warning, the creature began swimming frantically around its containment bowl. It swam in such tight circles that the water within the bowl became a swirling whirlpool. The whirlpool began pulling oxygen into the tank. Stay focused on the mission, Jeremy. Your nonsense is distracting you from our purpose. Jeremy watching in astonishment as the gaseous hydrogen began to emerge from the tank.
Sorry,
see that you can tell here that one of us is writing the dialogue and one of us wrote what happened because all the shit's going down, but he's like just talking like it's normal.
Well,
that's all you want, babe. I see the warmth behind those icy tones of yours. You can't hide your oxygen levels declining rapidly. No breach detected. As the creature grew in size and changed colors rapidly, the alarms blared. Oh God! Ah! Jeremy dashed for the emergency gun. I picture like a break in case of emergency box and it's just a gun inside.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm picturing.
The emergency gun. As he took aim, he glanced at Bethany's computer face. Fuck! Save me! Fuck! And abruptly passed out. Oh yeah, because the oxygen was getting sucked from the room, that's right.
And he was screaming at the same time, yeah.
Yeah. Fuck! Save me! The creature emerged from the tank, now twice the size of a man, and walking on 2 feet.
Oh my gosh!
As it crushed Jeremy's head beneath its fin.
Oh my god!
We really killed off Jeremy quick there.
Oh.
Jeremy, No.
No.
The creature scraped Jeremy's baka brains off its flipper and waddled casually to the controls. You monster. I loved him. The creature responded condescendingly. All the screens turned red as Bethany flew into a rage. Armed personnel flung themselves at the beast, but it brushed them aside with almost no effort. The slightest flick of its psychic tentacles. Okay, cool. The slightest flick of its psychic tentacle extremities left bloody mists where bodies once stood.
Oh my god.
That's pretty sick, honestly. Where are we at? Where bodies once stood. You killed my baka boy. Prepare to die.
The creature wittily replied. Authorizing lethal force, activating Killbot's self-destruct sequence initiate. Damn, she's going all out. Just gonna...
Hell yeah. You hear that, you piece of shit? None of us are getting out of here alive.
He reached the front viewport and gingerly placed a fin on the glass. A single tear rolled from his big ol' eye. Replied the creature.
That's something I wrote. His big ol' eye.
Replied the creature as it shook in an unregistered emotion that was later equated to laughter.
And that's you.
Meanwhile, in the serene vacuum of space, none of the alarms, screams, or hideous squelching could be heard.
Hideous squelching.
As it pushed forward on the control panel, the ship plunged into the unfathomably massive depths of AP-903. Security footage from the lost one-of-a-kind windshield-wiping ship were later recovered and placed in our records. Future missions to AP-903 were terminated.
There you go. That's a fine example of our early days there. Yeah. Much shorter stories. I feel like the first half of our streams are like trying to figure out where the plot's going, and back then we didn't do that.
No, we went sentence by sentence and
we never really discussed where the plot was going. Like nowadays we're like, oh yeah, like where do we want to go from here? What do we want to end up happening? And like we talk about the ending. But back then, we didn't. That's
because of the unfathomable pressure of being on live stream.
Yeah, being on stream, we feel like it has to be good. But back then, when we weren't streaming, it didn't have to be good.
It just had to be done.
Uh-huh. But yeah, that's AP-09, like, or AP-903, like an ocean in your eyes. As you can see, the themes around that story, we've got transhuman love with an AI consciousness. And as you can see, she does play it very hard to get at the beginning, but clearly she did have feelings about Jeremy.
Yeah, maybe they developed over the course of this very long story.
I just got finished watching Aliens, and I feel like that was a very Aliens-type short story there, you know?
Nice. So
on board, effortlessly slaughters the occupants of the ship.
Yep, So a big rose for me is the dialogue from the alien creature. He's so witty and so condescending.
I think that was mostly your work in that. You wrote his dialogue and, more importantly, described his dialogue. My rose is for the dialogue between the AI and Jeremy. It's some of my favorite. I love how he just blindly presses forward, just knowing. And like the beginning of the story, you think, oh, this guy's an idiot. Obviously, he's just like flirting with this AI program that doesn't give a shit about him. But then you realize he was right the whole time.
Yeah.
He was assured in his beliefs that were correct.
And we only found out after he died.
Yep. Much like Picasso. His greatest work comes after his death. That doesn't make sense.
Much like, yes. I'll let it slide. I'll agree with
Picasso, Van Gogh. Anyway, Picasso was quite successful in his time. Doesn't matter.
And this creature, though, like, the slightest flick of its psychic tentacle extremities left bloody mists where bodies once stood. Oh my gosh.
That's pretty good.
That is descriptive.
Yeah. Good stuff. That
was a joy.
Brain Bridge number 3, or Mind Bridge. Mind Merge.
It's all of them.
903, like an ocean in your eyes. Have we been joined by the Kraken yet?
I dare say no.
Well, we're gonna have to press on and go to. What do you think, Trapinator or Ronnie Quans?
Trapinator.
Trapinator. Give Blue Moon a little bit more time before we get
Yeah, we're working our way through our least favorites, but I mean, for being one of our less favorite ones right there, that was awesome. I enjoyed that.
It's very. They used to be a lot shorter. Yeah.
Yeah, that was only 2 pages.
Yeah. They used to be a lot shorter and.
Yeah, this was just like one scene,
they're
kind
vignettes, you know. Now they're more short stories. Back then they were little vignettes. But yeah, this was I think the 6th one we did. This one I remember our assignment, because we used to kind of try to mix it up each time. Our assignment was to find a quote from a book, and that would be our beginning sentence. We both came together with a quote. I believe we chose the quote that I found in a book. And I don't remember what the quote was.
It's this sentence. Wasn't it from Dune?
No, I don't think it was from... Well, no, I don't think it was from Dune. I don't remember what it was. I think it was 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, maybe.
Uncanny resemblance, the head, the fine eyes, the body of a rotund jaguar.
Yes, that was the sentence. I don't remember...
You don't remember where that's from?
I was reading that had that sentence in it, but... that was it, and that's where we started, so...
You would think that kind of a sentence would get you remembered, but writers, let this be known that it doesn't matter what you write, you will be forgotten.
Yes, that's the truth. So this one's called Mind Merge 6, Trapinator's Demise, and a Pleasant Surprise. Okay.
Oh, God.
Uncanny resemblance. The head, the fine eyes... Oh God, I'm just now remembering what this story is about. Can we even read this one on stream?
I think so, yeah. Hang on, let me just skip.
We're going to find out how bad it gets. I remember there's like some BDSM references in this, but alright, let's
I think that's as far as it goes.
Yeah, I don't think it's too extreme, but anyway, okay, here we go. The uncanny resemblance. The head, the fine eyes, the body of a rotund jaguar. I see him now. Captain Subspace. It looked like whoever made his costume had a particular aim in mind, and also had spent much of their life making leather harnesses for kinky elephants.
Oh, this guy's name is Captain Subspace. Okay, I remember it now.
It's Captain Subspace.
It's such a cool name for such a lame guy, but
he's a lame guy, but we're not there yet. Making leather harnesses for kinky elephants. That's good stuff. All right. I usually have a cape, if you're wondering why I look like this.
I like that voice for him. Actually, I was wondering who designed your leather costume. It's quite charming.
You like it? Well, you wouldn't believe how much the cape holds it together. It's gonna blow your top hat off. That was definitely you.
It's not mine. She pouted and threw it away. No, I was the one who said it's not mine and pouted and threw it away.
That's true. That was yeah. So another little caveat here. When we first started, a lot of the writing was a little bit more combative. We just sort of fight on the direction of the story and the description sometimes, because we'd go back and edit each other's sentences, and so things like that would happen all the time. Where one of us would give the character a top hat, and the very next sentence she says, "It's not mine." She pouted and threw it away.
Well, that made our sessions take longer, which is part of why the stories were shorter.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Looks like Trapinator left behind some signature trap. Oh, no, wait, that's the woman. Looks like Trapinator left behind some signature traps, said Crystal Countess Catherine. What the fuck?
You skipped forward and she goes, it's not mine, she pouted and threw it away. Well, don't just throw it away. I thought it looked fabulous on you. As it floated featherily to the ground, it landed on a pressure plate, causing a somewhat large explosion a short distance off. Captain Subspace nearly shit himself as he frantically darted his head from side to side.
I feel like that, like, one of us wrote, like, causing a huge explosion, and somebody went back and edited it and said, somewhat large explosion.
It can't be that big. They'd all be dead.
It's probably not that big. Captain Subspace nearly shit himself as he frantically darted his head from side to side. Looks like Trapinator left behind some of his signature traps, said said Crystal Countess Katharina of Castle Chrysanthemum. That's what we named that character.
Crystal Countess Katharina of Castle Chrysanthemum. Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and lay that on your plate. That was your name. For sure.
Look, we love alliteration, and sometimes it gets out of hand.
We were still testing boundaries back then.
And we found it right here.
That was it. Yeah. Crystal Countess Katharina of Castle Chrysanthemum.
A little alliteration is all right, but focus up, Captain. Maybe you'll score. Oh my gosh, this guy is a sicko, leaving traps.
When we met on heroesonly.com, I didn't know the place you said we were going to meet would be an active crime scene. Focus up, Captain. Maybe you'll score. This guy is sicko, leaving traps under dead bodies and shit like that. I assume you have. I assume you know all about him, seeing as you're a big-time hero. Crystal carefully headed to investigate without waiting for a reply. Captain Subpace stayed perfectly still, trying to spot any hidden mines. Oh, I know all about this guy. He started out with poop dollar pranks on YouTube. It was all fun and games until all those senators got brutally maimed and murdered in a Home Alone-style massacre. So this is laying the groundwork for Trapinator's character.
Yeah.
He's a YouTube prankster. Started out with poop dollars, and then graduated to murdering senators.
Now he's taking it too far.
Maiming and murdering senators in a Home Alone-style massacre.
Okay, so the madman had left a box right in the center of the city's most popular park. The box was full of stacks upon stacks. Oh my god, I just remembered. Stacks upon stacks of $100 bills and gift wrapped with transparent wrapping paper. Sounds great, right? Trapinator had surrounded the box with mines up to a quarter mile away. Oh my god. Dismembered body parts were everywhere. Greed had taken many, but not like this. As our heroes looked down at the gruesome scene, a man dangled from a tree branch, reaching for the coveted box. The branch snapped.
The narrator's voice in this, I think we nailed it. It's very comic book. It's very like, the narrator is speaking to the audience. Sounds great, right? Trapinator had surrounded the box with mines up to a quarter mile away. Dismembered body parts were everywhere.
Yeah, it's a very like top-down view of the scene. The branch snapped. He landed face first on the ground. Captain Subspace winced, awaiting an explosion. But none came. I'm alive! I'm alive! I'm alive! The man exclaimed. But as he jumped for joy, hundreds of scorpions came bursting forth from around him as the ground gave way.
The agonized screams forced them to cover their ears and look away.
Oh my god, Blue Moon Kraken is here. Oh man.
Yeah. He made it.
We were saving the good ones for you, but they're all good though. So.
You missed 1.5. The first one, it's okay. You missed it. Go back and watch if you want on the YouTube.
Here, you could probably read it faster than we're reading it, so just zip your way through there.
Also, Blue Moon, you need to subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't already. You know that, right? Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. That's what we should change our name to.
I'm liking, I'm subscribed. And this is WeWrite.
I'm liking, I'm subscribed. I want to be subscribed.
That's cool. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, so we're reading the story. We got Captain Subspace,
who is dressed like a kinky elephant, and his body has been described as that of a rotund jaguar.
And he met Crystal Countess Katharina of Castle Chrysanthemum on heroesonly.com.
Yeah, it's like a dating website for heroes, or just like, where heroes try to find people to team up with.
Yeah,
you understand. You get it. It's like Farmers Only, but for superheroes.
So now they're up against our main villain, Trapinator. Started out with
who was originally a YouTube prankster who did poop dollar tricks on YouTube, but then he ended up killing a bunch of senators and maiming them. You get it. There's real escalation.
So now the scene, Madman had left a box in the center of the city's most popular park. The box was full of stacks upon stacks of $100 bills and gift wrapped with transparent wrapping paper. Sounds great, right? Trapinator had surrounded the box with mines up to a quarter mile away. Dismembered body parts were everywhere. Greed had taken many, but not like this. As our heroes looked down at the gruesome scene, a man dangled from a tree branch, reaching for the coveted box. The branch snapped. He landed face first on the ground. Captain Subspace winced, awaiting an explosion, but none came. I'm
I'm
alive! But as he jumped for joy, hundreds of scorpions came bursting forth from around him as the ground gave way. The agonized screams forced them to cover their ears and look away. They're heroes.
While they planned a way to clear the field, Captain Subspace's phone pinged along with dozens littering the minefield. So phones start going off. He tapped the notification to open a live stream from the notorious Trapinator. What's up, fam? Y'all see that absolute goon get all stabbed up by those scorpions? A boomerang video showed the man's horrifying death forward and backwards again, set to flamboyant music and punctuated by a laugh track. Before returning to Trapinator's repulsive, half-exploded laughing face.
Nice.
Some lore there. He's got a half-exploded face. He was like all, ah, what an idiot. I love the image of him. Like, you see that absolute goon? And then the cuts to a clip. And he's getting stabbed by scorpions. And then the laugh track.
It's so good.
That's good shit, honestly.
Such a good character. You follow this asshole? Crystal put her hands on her hips and tilted her head to the side. Well, I did, back when it was just silly stuff. I guess I forgot to unsub, he said with a sheepish smile. Trapinator finally stopped laughing and with a flourish announced, time for the main event. It seems we've got two heroes in love, ripe for the picking. Subspace blushed. I mean, you seem nice, but his muttering trailed off. CC, okay, nice, we shortened her name.
We had to.
Rolled her eyes. Oh, shut the fuck up. And then when we did the long version.
God damn it.
Crystal Countess Katharina of Castle Chrysanthemum prepared for the worst, but was not prepared enough for the diabolical plans Trapinator had in store. She was
hoisted on high by massive tentacles erupting from beneath the concrete. The temples of Venus were exposed.
That was you.
See, that was me, and that's why I was a little nervous about reading these because, we thought it was really funny.
I think that's as far as it goes. it doesn't.
It's not as far as it goes. I remember how far it goes. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Here we are. We're reading it. It doesn't matter. We're already here. We're in the dumpster already.
We're not going to stop it yet.
Her temples of Venus were exposed. Subspace couldn't look away. Exquisite, he thought. Distracted, he couldn't he didn't notice that he was sinking into the ground until he was balls deep. Desperately, he crawled at the ground. Help me! He squealed. Crystal Countess cast a crystal cathedral, creating an area of deep vibrating resonance, protecting them from harm and pushing them together. So Crystal Countess cast crystal cathedral, creating an area of deep vibrating resonance. That was pretty good. Entwined as they were, Subspace could feel her unimpressive yet surprisingly supple breasts against his face.
He stammered dumbly as he pulled his face
away. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Wait, I didn't mean to. I mean, why are we... That's just how it works, lover boy. Now give me some of that sweet power you got stored up. Wait, so the only reason you matched with me on Heroes Only was for my power boosting powers?
Okay, so there you go, a little bit of a reveal. That's Captain Subspace's powers are boosting the powers of others.
Yeah, that's pretty funny that we got this far without having any idea of what his powers were.
I know Blue Moon appreciates how horny these first couple stories are going to be. Hey, let's lay it all out on the table here. We're just playing around. Not trying to objectify women here, but anyway, let's go on.
No, I think she's playing it very well.
Yes, of course. Well, being 6'2" helped. Did you think it was for your rotund jaguar body?
I get it, he said dejectedly. My powers aren't very impressive on their own, and neither is my body. But when someone else takes charge, I can really shine. So just use me like everyone else does.
So if you haven't gotten it yet, Captain Subspace is a sub.
Blue Moon Kraken is shocked and appalled. He's shocked and appalled that we were like this before he got here.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
What is Blue Moon saying? Is he in the chat?
Yeah, I just told you. He's shocked and appalled that we were like this before he arrived.
We were worse. We were worse, Lamoon. Like I said, our first story will never be revealed to the public, ever.
He does like Heroes Only as the website name. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Oh, I'm glad. All right, here we go. I get it. He said, oh, we already read that part. Just use me like everyone else does. Don't worry about it. Not everyone's meant to be a solo act. I wouldn't have matched with you if you didn't have something going for you. Like those fine eyes.
Oh yeah, that was the other descriptor.
Yep.
The tentacles ripped at the...
through the resin.
I got it.
Tentacles ripped through the resonant barrier as they looked into each other's eyes. Suddenly erupted from the captain. Subspace's body began to glow brighter and brighter as he powered up. His energies flowed freely into the more dominant counterpart. Now spit on me.
What?
What? That's just how it works. The resonant barrier was shrinking under the pressure of the earth. And the constant attacks of the tentacles. She looked at him, disgusted. That's perfect, you know. He likes to be humiliated. Now spit on me. What? That's perfect.
The power dynamic was established. Crystal Cows felt a surge of sassy confidence and also a huge power up. The resonance from the crystal dimension was stronger than she had ever felt it before. With the new power, anyone who faced her would submit to her will. The resounding bubble around them grew tenfold before rapidly bursting outward, utterly obliterating the tentacle trap and everything else in a 50-meter radius. Oh, Jesus. Shit. Oh, shit, were the last words uttered from Trapinator's lips before he was eviscerated. Trapinator's live stream showed what was left of his mangled corpse with a poop dollar smeared across his now twice exploded face.
Twice exploded face.
I guess he was in the box?
We hadn't even established where he was.
I don't know, I guess. Crystal kind of shrugged. Her nipples and penis peeking out from beneath her short top. So, you still want to go on that date? Subspace asked meekly. Fuck it, sure. Alright, but I gotta change my pants.
Jesus Christ.
It's so good.
I mean, that's probably the worst, the raciest it gets.
Oh, no, that was great.
I haven't revisited that one in a while. It's actually pretty funny. My rose goes to, I give roses to the part where he asks her to spit on him, and she refuses in disgust, and that works for him anyway.
Yeah, that's perfect. I really liked where we cut to his live stream, and he's showing the boomerang of the guy getting stabbed by a scorpion.
The boomerang video. Those were really popular when we wrote this.
This was all around really good. It had everything. It had everything
really
it needed.
Nailed that one. I don't even remember at what point we decided to make it a superhero story. It must have been pretty early on.
I think it was when he says, it's based on his outfit, and then his name's Captain Subspace, then he says, I usually have a cape.
Well, it took us a really long time to come up with the name Captain Subspace. Because I remember, because of that first line of the Rotund Jaguar and whatever the harness for kinky elephants, you know, that part, I knew that he was going to be a sub, and I wanted to make his name something like that.
Oh,
we ended up with Captain Subspace. God.
I didn't even.
It took us a long time to come up with the name.
You're a genius. I didn't even make that connection this time we were reading it. Oh my God.
There's a lot of worse names before Captain Subspace, so just be thankful that we landed on that.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I guess we're done with this one. Kraken, you got any comments for us on this?
Any questions, concerns?
Any commentary? Oh, he's on our. Okay, so that was Trapinator's demise and a pleasant surprise. Well, we could do Marvelous Adventure right now. It just kind of pulled up.
Yeah, I mean, we can Marvelous Adventure, Ronnie Kwan's, either one. Marvel's Adventure is one of our least funny ones, but I think it's one of our best stories. And we wrote that early on in the streaming, and so the audio is really bad, worse than it is now. So
yep.
We are going to revisit it so that you can listen to it with good audio.
No, I'm
This
gonna
one
have
is
to.
called A Marvelous Adventure.
The stage was set. Lucy had been preparing all day, and it was time to lay down for the night. This would be her third attempt to lucidly explore the dream space. She had just finished half a block of cheese and chased it down with vitamin B5. This is information from an expert at lucid dreaming over here.
So I practiced lucid dreaming for years, and cheese has tryptophan in it that breaks down into serotonin past the blood-brain barrier with the help of a lot of vitamin B5. Is this fake science that I read 10 years ago on the internet? Maybe. Did it work? I think so, yeah. My dreams were really vivid back then.
And he was very constipated.
Yes, yeah.
From
All
all the cheese.
It was too much cheese. You shouldn't eat that much cheese. Anyway, so she started a Theta Realm soundtrack. That was
Wait. Blue Moon said, sorry, hold on, someone's bugging me about my recent mental health issues. Well, tell them you're in therapy right now.
Yeah, there you go. We all have mental health issues. I know how that goes.
Collaborative writing therapy.
You can't really write much if you don't have any mental health issues, I think.
That's fair. That's fair. How far will you actually get?
She started a Theta Realm soundtrack and snuggled into the covers and prepared to embark on her journey. Lucy's heart pounded as she remembered the intensity of her last trip into the dream realm. It all seemed so real, too real. Inevitably, her heart rate dropped to a steady rhythm as she drifted off to a land far more fluid and strange than any waking world.
The shifting hallway was familiar and foreign all at once. The doors were both inviting and foreboding. They seemed to be uncertain of what they held on the other side of themselves. In a flash, something...
That's definitely you. That first sentence was me about how being familiar and foreign at once, and then you are definitely the one that personified the door.
Yes, I gotta personify the doors.
That's a classic Caleb trope. They seem to be uncertain of what was held on the other side of themselves.
Yes, I'm inspired by the masters of personification. Douglas Adams, Terry Pratchett.
Yes. All right.
In a flash, something appeared out of one door and disappeared into another with a mischievous giggle. She knew that giggle. Or that's such a weird line. She knew that giggle. Or did she? It was like something out of a dream. Wait! She checked her pocket for the glittering marble she always slept with. That would hurt. Imagine rolling over onto a marble.
Yeah.
She let it go and watched it begin to fall upwards. Yeah. We really wanted a memento.
It's a real Inception situation.
Yeah, we wanted an Inception item, and this one was pretty cool.
And her totem is her marble. I like that transition. It was like something out of a dream. Wait, I am dreaming.
She let it go and watched it begin to fall upwards. She had done it again. She was in the dream realm, fully lucid for now. The giggling continued from inside the door, and her curiosity got the best of her. She made a marking on the wall with her lipstick and headed after it. As she opened the door, I love how we did that, and then that was it. That's as far as she got.
Never referenced again, but it's cool. It's a little bit of she's doing something that we don't fully understand. Yeah, she's on her dream tip.
As she opened the door, the giggle broke into a cackle. She only saw it for a moment, but it was definitely the same creature from last time. The cat-like thief.
The cat-like thief.
I hate that. I hate every time we say it, but
I love it. It was clearly me who made the name.
She tried to breathe, but it had already stolen the air from her lungs. Suddenly she was underwater. At the whim of the waves, she gazed into the depths. She could barely make out the edges of the colossal cube of water floating in space.
Cool.
It was the size of an ocean, with behemoths lurking in the depths. As she fought desperately to survive, her arms flailed. She felt something take hold of her arm and yank her from the clutches of the unforgiving water. Lucy was pulled aboard a creaking vessel and took her time catching her breath. Looking up, she saw a vast sky of swirling stars above her, reminiscent of a Van Gogh. A young kraken off the port bow sank back into the sea.
Hey, it's Kraken.
Shout out Blue Moon. Beneath the reflection of the blue moon.
Oh, this was the first story you were here for, Blue Moon, I think.
No, I think there was the second one, and so he got a shout out in the
story. A shout out.
A return visitor gets a shout out.
Uh-huh. Seemingly disappointed at missing out on a meal.
Boo.
The boat heaved as the waves swelled beneath it. Lucy peered over the railings and saw a ship was riding atop saw the ship was riding atop a sea of clouds. A gruff yet small voice from behind it. "Ahoy, sea winch! What ye be doing, drowned in the waters?" "What you been doing drowned in the waters?" She turned around to see a bipedal crocodile decked out in full pirate regalia, wielding a cutlass. I wasn't trying to drown. That little thief stole something I need. Lucy pointed desperately into the crowd of pirates gathered on the poop deck. The cat-like thief, dressed in an adorable pirate garb, tossed her marble in the air before catching it and disappearing behind the encroaching pirate crew.
"What gibberish ye be spouting? You're not after me booty, are you?"
"Well, it is rather thick, but no. I'm after what that cat-like thief has. I just can't quite put my finger on what it was." She trailed off, deep in thought. "I'm not glad of your give me. I'll consider ye an honorary member of the crew. But first, you must pass this test. I hope you studied." The croc grinned threateningly and peered over his tiny spectacles as he gestured towards a school desk, topped with papers and a pen. Lucy sat down at the desk and tried to read the first question while nervously chewing her eraser. She wasn't even sure if the questions were in English. Then,
I've had that happen in a dream trying to read something.
Yeah. It's classic dream stuff. It's like, here's a test you didn't study for. Fuck.
And it's not even in English. It's just scribbles.
I can't even read this. That's my favorite part about the story is how quickly it transitions from like, oh, she's on a pirate ship. Oh, no, now she's taking a test.
Yeah.
It's very dreamlike. All right. Lucy sat down, nervous. She wasn't even sure if the test was English. The more she pondered at them, the less sense they made. Unable to make sense of the page in front of her, Lucy looked around the room and made eye contact with the cat-like thief, peeking through the door to the classroom. Yeah, she's just in a classroom now.
Yeah, the mischievous creature knocked on the glass with the marble, reminding her of her goal. "Wait, I graduated 6 years ago. This test won't affect my GPA at all." Lucy made a break for the door where she was met with the epitome of all authority, the teacher.
I wrote that, but it's because I've had that exact thought in a dream before. I was like, wait, I already graduated.
What am I doing?
My grade point average is locked down. I'm good.
The teacher, the imposing figure, bared down on her and boomed, "Truancy! This will go on
your permanent record."
"You don't scare me, bitch." Lucy reached into her back pocket and drew out a scroll. Okay. She dramatically unfurled it, revealing the shining contents within. A hall pass. The beam caused the hideous creature to shrivel up with a blood-curdling screech.
Good stuff.
Lucy nodded approvingly as though this was the expected result before stepping over the disintegrating mass into the hallway. As she pressed on after the thief, the dense foliage made it nearly impossible to continue.
Yeah, see, we were in a classroom, now we're going through foliage. No transition required.
It's perfect. The dashing young explorer
next to her took off his hat and wiped the sweat from his brow. The sun glinted off the stubble on his face, the perfect cherry on top of the deliciously rugged sundae that was his face.
His gruff
voice was barely above a whisper. "Don't move an inch. The beast is on the prowl." Peering through the foliage, she could see the most disgusting creature she had ever seen stalking through the small clearing. The monstrosity's dark flesh was dripping with black ichor as its multitude of tails twitched inorganically. Lucy held her hand over her mouth, stifling a squeal. The beast was leaning down as if eating. But as she looked closer, she saw the cat-like thief was whispering in its ear and pointing a cute little claw in her direction.
Oh, I like that. But Kraken said, "What I miss? You miss your own cameo in this story."
Oh, did he miss his cameo?
You missed your cameo, dog. Here it is. A young kraken off the port bow sank back in the sea beneath the reflection of the blue moon.
Aha! That was early in our relationship.
Your first cameo.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went from hallway to ocean to pirate ship to classroom to jungle.
forest. Yeah.
What gibberish ye be spouting? You're not after me booty, are you? That's that top tier.
Top tier.
Here we go. Sorry,
little claw in her direction, seemingly without movement. It made sudden, direct eye contact with her. The creature spoke in a voice like eternity crashing upon itself.
Oh, nice.
Reveal yourself, and no harm will come to you. In an instant, they were before the creature, frozen in fear. Yes, child. The eldritch voice dripped from the monster's many grotesque lips. Surrender to my will. That's pretty good, bro.
Yeah.
The eldritch voice dripped from the monster's many grotesque lips.
Yeah.
Surrender to my will. A half smile crept over the explorer's face. Don't worry, darling. I got this. As the explorer stepped forward, he proclaimed, "Hail and well met, creature. I'm Illinois Jack, and I," clearly an Indiana Jones reference, he never finished his sentence, as he was consumed like a bullfrog in a blender.
Oh my god. The look of mischievous joy had disappeared from the cat-like thief's face as he began desperately drawing a circle into the ground. The thief made some queer markings in the circle before quickly disappearing into it. Lucy could feel the bloody mess that was her charming companion dripping from her face. She should be terrified, but for some reason she felt no fear. She looked into the monster's eyes and felt nothing but pity. What trauma spawned this foul beast? What evil bore this wretched being into existence? Without time to continue this train of thought, she dove for the hole and scrambled into the ground.
That was me writing, what trauma spawned this beast? What evil? And you were just like, nope, without time to continue this train of thought, we're going to the next one.
No, we're out. Yes, you do tend to get hooked on certain parts of the story when it's really time to move on.
Yeah, you usually are pretty good at guiding us forward as I'm stuck describing things over and over again.
Hey, oh, okay, yeah, so she scrambled to the ground. Gravity shifted, and she found herself hanging from a balcony on a skyscraper above a bustling city. Above her, she heard the sounds of honking... Oh, below her, she heard the sounds of honking horns and saw a small cat-like fist shaking out of a cab window as someone shouted.
A small cat-like fist.
Hey, I'm walking here. Her grip began to slip as she desperately tried to find a way out of this. She closed her eyes, and after a moment, the whistling of the wind died down. When she opened them again, she was in a small cottage in front of a warm fire. Snowflakes were slowly piling up on the windowsill. One snowflake drifted through the cracked window and past her. She noticed it had a little face on it, which looked distraught when it landed and started melting with a desperate squeak.
Jesus Christ. Lucy exhaled with relief. She loved her grandmother's cabin. Some of her best childhood memories lived here. The steaming hot cookies, her dumb brother bouncing off the walls. Finally, she noticed the person sitting across the fire from her. And the sight of her grandma sent warm feelings of comfort shooting through her veins. She hadn't spoken to her since she died 4 years ago. As she reached out and touched her beloved relative's hand, she felt fur beneath her fingers. The cat-like thief was sitting before her, knitting a scarf, which seemingly had no end.
Nice, knitting the scarf of time.
The infinity scarf.
Yeah.
Is that for me? She asked with childlike excitement. The conniving thief let out its characteristic giggle and winked its mysterious cat-like eye. In an instant, the cretin was dashing for the closet. As she made chase, she stopped for a fresh baked delight. And savored the flavor. It had been years since she had her grandmother's famous baked goodies. She split the last bite of.
With her stupid little brother and patted his head affectionately. I miss you being this age. You were still an idiot, but much sweeter. Rather than giving chase as she had been, Lucy adjusted her attire and confidently walked toward the thicket of her grandmother's clothes. Wow, I forgot how thick her grandma was. You bastard.
That's because you wrote, she walked towards the thicket of her grandmother's clothes, and I'm like, oh, it was thick, was it?
Grandmas just always have a lot of clothes.
Oh, wow. I forgot how thick Grandma was.
Oh my gosh. She reached for the machete leaning against the wall of the wardrobe and began hacking at the thick clothes populating the hangers. The plot thickens, she thought, as she emerged into a massive, psychedelic, shifting temple. Her footsteps echoed into eternity as the non-Euclidean structure folded in on itself and re-emerged in unimaginable ways. She felt a little woozy looking into it, as if she was staring into the seam of non-space between her vision, I guess.
Between the vision, her two eyes. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
No,
between of her two eyes.
Her vision.
The non-space between the vision of her two eyes, I think, or between the view of her two eyes.
I just think her vision.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I know what I was going for there. I was talking about, like, you know, how you can't see your nose. It's like where your nose is. It's like the vision between, the space between where your vision is. But yeah, it is hard to describe, so we just kind of went past it probably.
Anyway. Yeah, because it's trippy and hard to describe anyway.
Mm-hmm.
As she progressed deeper into the temple, she felt humbled by the overwhelming presence of this seemingly sacred space. As her feet splashed on the astral cobblestone, she abruptly remembered that she was dreaming. The temple suddenly took a rigid shape, but as she tried to examine it, it slipped through her perception like sand through her fingers and began twisting through itself once more.
I really like how we described this. Splashing on the astral cobblestones, the non-Euclidean structure folding in on itself in unimaginable ways. It's cool.
Yeah.
We did it.
It's a lot of description, but yeah, it's what I wanted. It's what I was imagining. I managed to put it on the page.
Uh-huh. Ahead of her, she could hear a booming voice. There you are, Muffins. I was wondering about you. Come home for dinner, did you? Lucy could hear the tinkling of cat food into a bowl. As she emerged into a space more vast than her mind could comprehend, she was met with a being whose presence was equally incomprehensible. Her mind reeled in an attempt to take in the scene before her. She battled against vertigo as she tried to remember she was dreaming. The cat-like thief pawed at Lucy's marble and purred. She felt the pawing as if it was on her own soul. It was rough, but somehow comforting. Welcome to my domain, the space between dreams, where impossible becomes possible and the infinite becomes material. Muffins mentioned he'd made a friend. What is it you seek?
And then she does this epic speech. I am the
seeker seeking the unsought. I roam for the sake of roaming. Exploring the playground of my mind is its own reward, and finding myself here is a bonus. Silly child, this is not your mind. You are dead. This is the mind, a culmination without beginning, a birth with no death. Lucy's mind reeled once more as she considered this. Her body seemed to move on its own as she dove for her marble and tumbled off the edge of the platform into the infinite space below. Ah, well, I'll see you again soon, Lucy.
A giggle echoed in the nothingness. You forgot this, waking one. We never had a voice for the thing because it never talked.
You forgot this, waking.
A voice purred. Her lungs suddenly filled with fresh, cool air, and a cat-like grin spread through her mind's eye. The voice echoed in her head as the sensation of falling awoke her with a start. Lucy immediately whipped out her dream journal and furiously started writing down everything she could remember, from the crocodile pirate captain to the temple between dreams. Her cat, Mittens, purred as it batted a small glittering marble around the floor. The end.
That's one of my favorites, honestly.
It's pretty awesome. Just all the descriptions and the transitions, the pirate dialogue.
It was one of the first times we set out to do like a specific thing. Like we were like, oh, this one's going to be in a dream world. Like we had that at the very beginning. That's what we were going to do. And I think we nailed it. I love the transitions especially. That's where my roses go. My roses go to the seamless transitions between pirate ship to classroom to jungle, the cityscape. And it's just like so quick when she's in the city and it's like the cat's in the taxi shaking its little fist at somebody and then it cuts to somewhere else. I love that shit. I can picture it.
What ye be doing drowning in me waters?
What ye be doing drowning in me waters? Yeah, that's good shit.
Yeah, the transitions are great.
You came up with a title, and I think it's one of our best titles ever.
A Marvelous Adventure.
She didn't have her marble.
Yeah, she was chasing it the whole time.
I love it. A Marvelous Adventure. All right, I think it's time
Excellent.
for Ronnie Kwan's.
It's time for Ronnie Kwan's. This one,
One of my favorite stories we've done.
yes, and Blue Moon's gonna love this one. He's gonna absolutely love this one.
You're gonna absolutely love it. So the title of this one is Mind Merge 4, Ronnie Kwan's Diary, a word-for-word factual recounting. Double, double, boil and bubble, brew this broth, bring forth trouble. The chaos it courses through mysterious forces, cracks and kinkers on flame-ridden horses.
In the dank and dimly lit space, 6 wrinkly, wart-covered hands went about their work. An occasional cackle emerged from an ancient, well, relatively old, mouth. The cackling wasn't necessary, but it was an old tradition and was known to help nurture the vibe required to conduct this sort of magic. The cauldron made a...
That was definitely a you line for sure.
The
cackling wasn't necessary, but it was an old tradition.
Yeah.
The cauldron made a lurching sound before bubbling appropriately. Something on their ingredient table tried to make a run for it, but was scooped up by Raggletooth and tossed into the cauldron with a shriek. The door to the cavern burst open. Fluorescent lighting streamed in, followed by their boss, Esmeralda. What the fuck is going on in here? Trying to brew the... Merrywinkle. Where's your protective eyewear? And Ronnie, where the fuck are your gloves? I told you to always wear your fucking gloves. Corporate is going to be on my ass if another one of you gets dissolved or turned into some dirty gym sock again. She gestured to the bin full of dirty gym socks. It's full of dirty gym socks.
This happens a lot.
Apparently this happens a lot.
Now, get your shit together. We need this potion out by the witching hour, or there'll be hell to pay. Yes, ma'am, they all say together. Esmeralda walked into the bustling offices. The sound of telephones ringing... Oh, walked out into the bustling offices. The sound of telephones ringing was silenced by the slamming door.
God, she's such a witch bitch. The witches continued their incantation, occasionally cackling to try to salvage the ruined vibe.
That's good.
Occasionally cackling to try to salvage the ruined vibe. Cracks and kinkers and flame-ridden. The door burst open again. Oh, sorry, I thought this was the copy room. Squeaked an intern as he turned and slammed the door behind him. God damn it!
Witching ain't like it used to be, eh, Ronnie? Said Raggletooth as she took a swig from her flask.
Okay, yeah, the rest of the theme for Raggletooth is she's getting progressively more and more drunk throughout the story. That happens pretty quickly, actually.
Pays better, though, Ronnie said unenthusiastically. We used to be respected. People would avert their gaze for fear of being cursed. It was nice. Now they avert their gaze because you so ugly, laughed Ronnie.
Periwinkle let out a hideous cackle. It's part of the trade, you bitch.
No
one trusts a pretty witch to get the job done.
I think
you have to be ugly.
I think I'm pretty, said Merrywinkle dejectedly.
Well, your mirror didn't crack when you looked into it this morning, so that's a start. The sarcasm was lost on Merrywinkle. She smiled to herself, taking the jab as a genuine compliment. Raggletooth sighed and pulled out another flask. Another one, Rags? You're such a lush. You would be too if your husband ran off with a construct.
Oh, God.
I remember my first time with a construct, mused Periwinkle fondly.
Oh, my...
Eyes on the prize, Winky. We need more bloated toad livers if we're going to make this brew right. Shit, I was supposed to restock our ingredients last night, slurred Raggletooth. Oh, she's already flirting. Shit, I was supposed to restock the ingredients last night.
Last night.
Go check in witching room B then, you wobbly witch. Ronnie shot back with a wink.
Okay.
Raggletooth turned to leave, but stumbled on her moldy cloak, ripping it apart to reveal a bandolier of flasks across her surprisingly toned body.
Jesus, Rags, have you been working out? Exclaimed Ronnie with a cackle.
Oh, goodness. Don't worry, dear. I'll get them, tittered Merrywinkle. Get what? My absolutely jacked abs? Merrywinkle blushed. No, the bloated toad livers. Anyone want anything else while I'm out? No, just hurry back with the potion curdle, or before this potion curdles. Merrywinkle waddled to the door. The amount of steps it took was exasperating for all observers. As she opened the door, she was surprised. The usual fluorescent assault was replaced by a gaping darkness. From within the darkness, she heard a squelching. We put squelching in like every story back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
She heard a squelching.
And ichor.
Yeah, and ichor. And she couldn't be sure, but what sounded like someone was whistling. Ladies, Merrywinkle whimpered. Shit, we must not have been cackling enough. I knew the pipe was off. Now we're stuck in the timeless realm. Raggletooth managed to struggle to the end of her sentence as she stared out into the darkness. She's already hammered.
But she knew what was, or her guess as to what was wrong.
She knew exactly what happened. But she's hammered.
She's pretty good.
Yes, she said as she reached into her pocket and realized her cloak was still torn in two. Fuck. Merrywinkle blushed again.
That goddamn intern and that bitch Esmeralda, they fucked the whole vibe up, growled Ronnie. I may have also gotten a little booze in the whatchamacallit, admitted Raggletooth sheepishly.
In the whatchamacallit. When has there not been a little of your booze in our potions? No, this is definitely management's fault. A familiar voice echoed in the darkness. Hello? Is someone there? Can you help me find the copy room?
Oh, God. Shit, Merrywinkle, close that door.
Close the door. Don't let that fucking intern in here. Wait, Raggletooth said. Raggletooth a bit too loud before saying in a hushed tone, I need a sacrifice to get us out of here. You weren't going to mention that, accused Ronnie. It's going to be really gross. We need to make him into a portal.
Oh my God.
It's going to be really gross. We need to make him into a portal.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, but he's so small and lost. Did we have to sacrifice his immortal soul to the Dark Lord? Said Merrywinkle, smiling at the increasingly concerned intern. It's actually a sacrifice to the Dark Lord's cousin, Malthrazar. He's pretty chill, honestly. I heard he's got a killer volleyball team made of immortal souls he collects. The first reference to volleyball. We'll get back to that.
No.
Damn, that's not half bad, admitted Ronnie. All right, well, get over here, you little weasel. You know we... Okay, what the fuck? You know we could just challenge Malthazar to a volleyball game. What the fuck? Do you think we can play volleyball?
Use your head.
Well, Raggletooth's pretty tall, continued Merrywinkle. I do still have these athletics potions that we made too many of last month, said Raggletooth, groping for one of her mini flasks strapped to her genuinely sick bod. I love that she's just ripped and has a bandolier of potions. Oh, that's
increasingly more ripped as we go.
Wait, that explains those abs. You've been juicing.
You know it, sister. I just mix it into my drink sometimes to keep the hangovers away.
The intern fumbled out of the darkness. Oh, thank Buddha, it's you crazy witches. I don't know why he's Buddhist.
It just happened, okay? He just is. Yep, that's sloshed Raggletooth. With great effort, the intern managed to tear his eyes away from Raggletooth's rippling abs.
With great effort.
What's all this about a volleyball game? You guys play? I was actually JV champion at my community college. The intern flexes surprisingly rippling biceps.
The intern flexed his surprisingly rippled biceps and thighs. So, look, we're not only objectifying women, it's the intern as well.
Yeah. This guy's perfect, just what we need, said Raggletooth as she stumbled forward. Is she drunk? Asked the intern with a cocked eyebrow. Don't you worry about me, odd stuff. Rex said as she aggressively rubbed the intern's face.
She aggressively rubbed the intern's face. Well, perfect. We have 4 people, the exact number we need for a regulation volleyball game in Malthazar's realm, the intern said as he attempted to swat away Raggletooth's persistent hand, but it was too late. The damage was done. His butt was squeezed.
I forgot that.
Me too. I completely forgot that line. It's a good one.
But the damage was
swat away Raggletooth's persistent hand, but it was too late. The damage was done. His butt was squeezed. That's all well and good, but I can't play volleyball, even if we take Raggletooth's roids pots. Ronnie explained dismissively. Come on, Ronnie, it'll be fun, piped Mary Winkle, clapping her little hands excitedly. Wait, Ronnie? As in Ronnie Kwan, the volleyball legend? The intern's mouth. The intern stood, mouth agape. They all paused and stared in anticipation. It's true. With the wave of her hand, the illusion was dispelled, revealing a face free of warts and wrinkles and a formidable volleyball bob. It was 1995, Witches World Cup volleyball tournament in Tucson. I was playing harder than I'd ever played in my life. The other team couldn't handle my sick moves. They all stared at the random point in the air as if they could see it happening in front of their eyes. Simultaneously, their heads turned to look at the non-existent scoreboard. We were up by 26 points. I could have relaxed, taken it easy the rest of the game, but no, my pride wouldn't allow it. I had to show them. I had to show them how I was the best that had ever played the game. Some goof on the other team hit a slow lob up right towards me. Her voice trembled. I looked 10 feet in the air and delivered an unholy spike, the likes of which the witch mother had never seen. The poor fool just stood there like a total mook as the rocketing ball tore through his head and straight through their coach before cratering the ground behind him. I got MVP that game, but I've never been the same since. I swore that day that I'd never touch another volleyball as long as I lived.
Raggletooth put a hand on Ronnie's shoulder before falling on her face. Mary Winkle helped her up while pondering. Well, I guess we just sacrifice him then. The intern gasped. Oops, did I say that out loud? All right, fine, I'll do it, exclaimed Ronnie suddenly. Do I now? So mumbled the slow Raggletooth as she opened the flask.
As she opened another flask. Do I now?
Do I now?
You don't have to twist my arm anymore, I'll play, Ronnie said as a look of determination washed over her face.
The night was one to remember. The court was packed.
So at this point, it was late in the night. We had been writing for hours, and we needed to wrap it up, so this soliloquy was written very hastily.
We did a montage version of the game here.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up pretty good. The night was one to remember. The court was packed and the crowds of spirits, demons, ghosts, and fourth-dimensional beings had gathered for what would come to be known as the game to have been at if you were generally thought of as as a cool dude. The legendary Ronnie Kwan had come out of retirement, and it was electric. Nice. Ronnie and the intern worked in perfect synchronicity. Raggletooth's miraculous save while being passed out face down in the sand became known as the Rags to Witches Roundabout. In fact, the trophy was modeled after it. Mary Winkle's moral support would go down as some of the best moral support ever seen on the beach. She even got hit in the face. What a team player. Malthazar was forced to admit defeat when the court was so full of craters that his team had nowhere to stand. The trio of witches ended up making millions from Raggle's roid pots, the TM. Their whiskey athletics potion combo sports drink that brought them back to our world. They were able to afford a big house with a pool and everything. The intern became their neighbor and would often borrow their pool. The fucking end. Oh, you wanted me to write more? Well, too bad. I'm not writing anymore. Nothing else. None. What are you still doing here? I told you I'm done. I'm going home. fuck, how do I make it stop? I'm a character in this story. I don't even have a name in this one. That's right, it's me, the intern.
Oh god, that's dumb.
The
rags to witches roundabout.
This part where they got a house with a pool and the intern became their neighbor, that is a Holes reference to the end of the movie Holes.
It's a Holes reference. I like the intern didn't get a pool. He comes over to use their pool.
Yeah. Oh, it's exactly like Holes. They make a huge product that becomes a huge success, and then they get a house with a pool.
The whole thing is an extended Holes reference.
Oh my god.
Yeah, my roses in that story definitely go towards our witch dialogue. I think it was really great.
Yeah, the whole cackling being required, and that's what they fucked up.
Yeah.
And then like
they just had such a fun dynamic. They seemed like old friends, you know.
Yeah, and then like the way that we like typed out her slurring increasingly worse was actually like really readable as slurs.
Luana.
Luana.
In the game, she's just passed out on the ground, face down, and still gets a save.
Yeah.
I really like that Periwinkle's moral support will go down in history as some of the best moral support ever seen on the beach. That's pretty good.
And it would come to be known as the game to have been at if you were generally thought of as a cool dude.
That's a dumb line.
You don't like it?
Okay, it's pretty funny. I think it was also your idea to make it like corporate witches. I think that was like kind of the starting point.
That was
like,
I just kind of like.
In an office.
I don't know how I came up with it, but it like popped into my head, and I was like, "That sounds really fun. I think we could run with that."
And I think we nailed the vibe when the door first opened, and it's like fluorescent lights come in, and the phones are ringing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're not in some cave somewhere. We're literally in an office building. It's pretty good.
Fluorescent
and
light.
It really goes off the rails when you mentioned volleyball, and then I kind of clinged to that idea, and I was like, yeah, volleyball. That's where this whole story's going, actually. Ronnie Kwan's secretly a legendary volleyball player. As
ridiculous as it is, I think it was a good way to end the story, because otherwise it would have been a very normal, like, they would have turned him into a portal and come back. Like, forget that.
No, it worked well. Ronnie Kwan's diary.
A word
for word factual recounting.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's
I'm like recovering. I'm recovering from how much I laughed during that one.
That's one of my favorites, honestly. I think that's some of our best dialogue. The witches, they all had distinct personalities. One of them was a ripped, drunk witch. Ronnie Kwan was sort of like the straight man, but then she ended up being a volleyball legend. And Periwinkle's the dumb but sweet one. You know, it's perfect.
Yes, and then the intern is just like
the intern who never gets a name.
He just gets objectified.
Ronnie Kwan and the intern worked in perfect synchronicity.
Yeah, the beginning with your intro double boil and bubble was fucking fire, and then 6 wrinkly wart covered hands, occasional cackle. The cackling wasn't necessary.
Then I like that the intern was JV champion. Like, he wasn't even like that good. He wasn't on varsity. He was JV champ.
That's a good point. Yeah. But that helped us because he recognized Ronnie Kwan.
Yeah, he was the only. Wait, Ronnie Kwan, the legendary volleyball player.
He heard Ronnie and he just knew.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Some of our best work, honestly.
Yeah, this one was a masterpiece. I may have also gotten a little booze in the whatchamacallit.
I may have also gotten a little booze in the whatchamacallit.
He's gonna be really gross. I need to make him into a portal.
It's gonna be really gross. I'm gonna turn him into a portal.
It's actually a sacrifice to the Dark Lord's cushion. Malthrazar. He's pretty chill, honestly.
She really had to struggle through that one.
Struggle to the end of her sentence, yeah.
Fun stuff. What else we got? AP one, we already did that one.
Yeah.
These are all we already streamed.
Well, I think we'll do one more, maybe two more, and it's gonna be a raindrop.
Yes, it's raindrop.
Raindrop between worlds.
And the worlds are titties.
We could do Loose Yourself. Oh no, we did promise that we'd do Skipper and Schubert.
Yeah, so we'll do that one last. Let's do
Well, I was thinking we should do the Raindrop Between Worlds last because that one always cracks me up, and that's a good way to end.
Okay, yeah, I'm down. So let's do Gum Schubert, which is one that we did stream already. It's on the stream, but we're revisiting it because it's a fan favorite. And by fan favorite, I mean one of our favorites.
And Blue and Kraken. He can't.
And Blue and Kraken.
He can't get over it. It is a fan favorite.
It is a fan. It's the favorite of our one fan. How is Blue Moon doing? Is he still here?
I don't know, man. I don't know how he's doing.
Well, I hope he's all right.
His last comment was during the dream one. He didn't even comment on the rags to riches roundabout.
That's all right. He's got his own stuff going on. You can go back and watch the YouTube.
Yeah. Highly recommend going back and watching the YouTube.
Yeah, Ronnie Kwan. It's worth it for Ronnie Kwan's diary alone. All right, so let's do Gum Schubert. Which session was that?
He's here.
He's here.
Any comments on that last one, Blue Moon, before we move on? Any roses, thorns, admitting that you missed the whole thing, something like that?
What session was Gum Schubert?
Session 5.
Okay.
Kraken, we're doing Schubert. This is just for you.
Skipper and Schubert. Gum Schubert. Private Detective.
Yes, Private Detective. I'm just gonna make that the actual title.
No. I like forgetting that he's a duck.
Alright, we're gonna visit Schubert. Kraken's not doing good right now. I don't know how to help him.
I'm sorry, Kraken.
Someone addressed his mental state and made it worse.
Oh, that's fun. Always great when that happens.
Yeah, what a jerk.
You got our support, Blue Moon. Always. Whatever small support we can, provide from thousands of miles away and through a computer screen.
Through the magic of storytelling.
Yes. Maybe a little trip to a stagnant, smoky city.
Mm-hmm.
I've got help.
Oh wait, let me put some noir music on.
Yeah, I got you. Gotta set the tone for this one.
Yeah, seriously. Let's see, which one did I use last time? It was really good. Okay.
Ooh. It's sounding pretty noir-y.
The stagnant, smoky air clung to Gum Schubert's skin like too thick sunscreen on a hot summer day. But this day wasn't hot, and he didn't need any sunscreen. As stoic and grizzled as Schubert looked, he'd been out of the game for years. Today, the only thing he planned on getting to the bottom of was a bottle of whiskey. His dark past haunted him around every corner, even here, in his black and white, high-contrast office/studio apartment.
Mr. Schubert, there's a visitor here for you.
Screeched a voice from the hallway. Schubert had forgotten about his secretary, who'd mostly been making herself scarce over the last few years, as he spiraled into a near vegetable of a man. And not a fresh, crispy, fresh veggie, a soggy, limp asparagus of a man.
Mr. Schubert?
Miss Fanny Bottom stuck her head through the front door. Hey, what did I tell you about coming in here? Hey, what did I... Okay, I lost it. We had a voice for it.
Let me see. Hey, what did I tell you about coming in here?
Yeah.
Get back to the hallway, Fanny Bottom. Snapped our hardened hero. Once enough smoke had escaped the room, Fanny Bottom could see the emaciated Schubert was sitting in darkness in his underwear and sports coat, surrounded by empty bottles and rotting Chinese food.
Jesus, Gum, pull yourselves together.
You've got a potential client out here, scolded Miss Fanny Bottom in a disappointed tone. In a disappointed tone, through smacks of bubble gum. Fanny Bottom strode to the windows and thrust the blinds open. The light burst in and did a bunch of what's all thising about the room before indignantly retreating. Definitely one of your lines.
Yeah, that was a borrowed line.
It's good though.
You do his
Hey,
voice.
how about you pull yourself out of Hey, how about you pull yourself out of this little room? Oh wait, no, what does he say? How about you pull yourself out of this room like I told you, you busy broad?
Grumbled Schubert as he scrambled to get pants on while kicking the food boxes and whiskey bottles under his twin-sized mattress. Tell the dame
Yeah, go for it.
Tell the dame I'll be out in a minute. How did you know? How did you know it was a... It always is, Fanny Bottom. Always is. I thought you'd have picked up on that by now. He may have been out of the game for a while, but Schubert knew the tropes better than anyone. Hell, he was a living trope himself. The hard-boiled detective permitted himself a glance out the window. I used to be the most sought-after detective in these vile streets. Smooth jazz played in his head as he reminisced on the glory days, back when this fedora he wore meant something. He fastened the fedora nostalgically on his head and lit a cigarette before settling into his chair behind the desk that was taking up most of the room.
That's when she walked through the door. She was all legs and nowhere to go. The thick smoke obscured her face, but he could tell this dame's no dime a dozen. Okay, wait. The thick smoke obscured her face, but he could tell this dame was no dime a dozen. If looks could kill, she'd be serving 25 to life. She surveyed the scene before delivering a quivering quote. I need your help. She carefully sauntered her way through the debris to the window. Sorry, I just need to get some fresh air, she said breathlessly. If you want fresh air, you have to find it in another town, sweetheart. Gum lit another cigarette before turning into the window.
It's only been like 10 seconds.
My name's Natalia Notakiller. I'm being followed, Detective Schubert. Her voice was silk, far too elegant for this dump, but with just enough mystery to drive the plot forward. Yeah, and what do you want me to do about it? The pathetic shell of a detective... you read this part.
The pathetic shell of a detective knew he would end up doing whatever she asked. She obviously had the funds. He automatically didn't trust her for some reason, but he knew he could trust her money. Natalia gazed out of the window at the flickering neon sign of the guns and liquor shop across the street. I'd like you to
find out why.
Let's dispense with the
flirtatious banter, shall we? What? I'm not... Look, doll, you don't have to beg. I'll take the case. But I need more to go on. And I don't mean just I mean information. She blushed and looked away. Money, doll face. I'm gonna need half of the payment up front, you see, for my expenses.
Natalia's blush died away as she tossed a wad of guala on the desk.
A wad of guala.
Someone left this note on my upstate apartment door. She gingerly placed a pristinely folded blue piece of paper on the desk. Schubert crumpled up the note and tossed it in the trash without reading it. Hey! Hey!
Why did you... I don't care if this blue... Okay, I got this part. I don't care if that note was blue, black, or purple. I know a red herring when I see one. That note would have led me on a wild goose chase, baby, and we don't got that kind of page space. I'm gonna start this investigation where all good investigations start. Where the rats talk and the birds squawk. The dock.
Oh, the music changed perfectly.
Perfect transition.
The miserable detective made his way down a dingy alley as the rain started to pour. Schubert ducked under a nearby overhang and lit a cigarette, hoping the rain... Oh, there it is!
He's stuck!
He's a duck! He's a duck detective! That was when he noticed the car that had been sitting outside with the guns and liquor store when he'd glanced out the window while reminiscing. It was idling in front of a derelict warehouse. Two men had just slammed the trunk closed and were getting into the vehicle. Looks like the old dick hadn't lost his touch after all. The old
The
walk.
old walk to the docks technique worked like a charm. This city always had a way of dropping things in your lap when you least expected it. And those things weren't always nice.
After a few moments, the rain began to die down. The car pulled away and Gum hopped in a taxi. Follow that car, Jack.
Jack. Picture them like gum to a shoe.
Sure thing, boss. The taxi driver flicked his cigarette out the window and took one last pull from his whiskey bottle before putting the car into gear. I've always wanted to get in this situation. It's why I became a taxi driver in the first place. Follow that car. Man, I knew waiting by the docks would pay off someday. The wife always tells me that's why we're broke.
Slow down there, Skippy. You want to play the game? You gotta play it cool, see?
Of course, mister, of course. Cool, playing it cool. So what do these guys do? The taxi tailed the two delinquents through the rainy, cobbled back streets as the driver rambled on. The car they were following pulled up in front of Madame Mammary's, the sketchiest brothel in town. Oh boy, a cat house. Mind if I come in there with yous and look around?
Keep the car running, Skip. We may need to hightail it out of here in any minute.
Sure thing, Doc. I don't mind a little window shopping. Skipper lit another cigarette as the door slammed shut.
Schubert popped his collar up and followed the two men into the establishment. They were carrying something between them, and Gum didn't like the look of it. Welcome back, Mr. Schubert, trilled the madam of the house. I'll take you to have your usual. You can take that and put it right back, lady. I'm here on a bit of business. Gum placed a wad of dough into Madam's hand. What room do those two men head to? Mr. Schubert, I see your tastes have broadened. If you'd like a bit of listening, right this way.
Oh my.
She took him by the hand, led him down a musty, vaguely sticky hallway, and gestured towards a mop closet. She put her finger on her lips and nodded politely before heading back to the entrance. Schubert put his ear to the door of the mop closet and listened. How long do you think we... Oh, wait, no, that was...
How long do you think we've got before that bozo gets here? A muffled voice queried. Well, that note should lead him to the warehouse, and if he's as thick as he looks, it should take him a while to find the next one.
Looks like that blue note was less of a red herring and more of a hook to get caught on. All right.
Suddenly, a voice from behind him rang out. Gum Schubert, I thought I'd find you here. The voices through the door fell silent. Oh, God. Schubert turned to Leanne Littlefeet, a lady of the night he was familiar with.
Leanne, you couldn't find a prayer in a church. Now hush up before... It's pretty good.
He's so quick with it, yeah.
He's quick with it. He's a shabby, washed-up detective, but he's still quick with it. Leanne, you couldn't find a prayer in a church. Now hush up before you... Gumshoe, we just called him Gumshoe there. Gumshoe held his finger to his lips and heard a click through the door. He sprang into action, tackling the dense broad onto the floor as dozens of bullets whizzed through the door. Screams rang out through the place, but Gum lit up another cigarette and went to work.
I like that. I like that little addition of him lighting the cigarette in the heat of the moment.
Yep, he scrambled into an adjoining room, tipped his hat to two people wrapped in the sheets, took careful aim, and blasted 8 rounds through the wall into the mop closet. My ass!
My ass!
Yells one of the goons. Loud crashing, then silence. Schubert cautiously stepped out into the hallway. The closet door was wide open, and a trail of blood led towards the entrance of the establishment. Schubert peered into the closet to find one of the goons splattered all over the wall, as well as a large duffel bag stuffed full of pristinely folded blue notes, now coated with red spray. The other goon must have made a break for it. Schubert ran to the entrance and kicked the door open. Through the pouring rain, he saw the goon still holding his ass as he dove into a now all too familiar vehicle. Skipper shouted drunkenly,
Get in, Schuberto! The red-faced taxi. Schuberto! The red-faced taxi driver revved his engine excitedly.
Thank goodness you've been drinking, Skip. You're gonna need extra courage. Now, step on it.
Oh, nice. The taxi's tires squealed as it took off after the nondescript car. Skipper barely maintained control as his car fishtailed cartoonishly, leaving a scatter of debris in its wake. Keeping up was no easy task, as the goon drove as fast as his face was ugly. Skipper followed.
As fast as his face was ugly.
Skipper followed behind like a bull in a china shop, hitting just about everything that wasn't nailed down. He took another pull from his whiskey and let out an excited holler. He was enjoying this way too much for the detective's liking. Schubert held on for dear life while trying to remain calm and put some of the pieces together. He tried lighting a cigarette, singeing his fedora. Why did they have all those blue
notes? You got it.
Why did they have all those blue notes? They were leading me on some sort of wacky Easter egg hunt, but why? Out the window, Gum was seeing less liquor stores and gun stores. They were heading into Uptown. That's when it dawned on him. Their plan had gone afoul. He must be making a mad dash for the dame. I gotta get there first and save her bacon, so I can save my cheddar, and that'll be one sweet sandwich.
That's great. That's great writing. I love that shit.
You slowing down, boss? Want me to ram him?
I'm pretty sure that was you. It's good.
No, that was all you. All you. One sweet sandwich.
He's slowing down, boss. You want me to ram him? Skipper lit a cigarette while steering with his knees.
Nice.
No, you don't. Just stay behind him. I need him alive. I've got questions, and he's got answers.
The goon's car swung wide in the street, skidded, and slammed against the curb in front of a ritzy apartment complex. He spilled out of the car and hobbled through the front door. Skippy slammed into the back of the goon's car.
I gotta get up there fast.
Gum finally managed to light up his cigarette, and leapt out of the car. Skipper reached out his window to offer a worn business card to Schubert. Let me know if you ever need help on another case. Schubert pocketed the card as he headed after the goon. Don't hold your breath, pal. As he got closer, he checked that his gun was loaded. Nice. There was the dame, clueless, on her upstate apartment balcony, not reacting to the goon's approach.
Looks like my hunch was right. One desperate attempt to put the dame in the dirt for good.
The goon took the elevator, so the quick-thinking Dick took the stairs. He started to get winded after the 10th flight, so he lit up another cigarette.
Oh, good stuff.
Finally
he reached the top floor, but it was too late. He saw the goon entering an open apartment door, still grimacing and holding his ass. He rushed to the door and looked inside. He saw fear in Natalia's eyes when he looked at them. When she looked at him. Gum had to think quick, and that's what he was best at. He loaded 8 rounds of his custom revolver into the goon's back. Bittersweet. I'd hoped to squeeze a bit more out of him, but at least the dame is safe. Looks like I still got my work cut out for me. While by all appearances this was a second act stinger, Gum couldn't shake the feeling that he was standing right in the middle of the third act finale.
As the body dropped to the ground, the smoke from his barrels rose slowly, as if unsure if it was really over. A second plume of smoke caught the detective's keen eye. A second revolver, in the hands of Natalia Notakilla, and it was pointing at him. His eyes strayed to the desk behind her. A stack of blue paper lay on the surface. Still reeling with realization, Gum Schubert fell to his knees. Something was brimming in his mind. Notakilla. He knew that name, didn't he? That's right. Joseph Notakilla, his first big case. Notakilla had spent the rest of his life behind bars. Looking into Natalia's cold eyes, he could see the resemblance. It all finally made sense. The notes, the goons, the smoking revolver. This dame was out for blood. His blood. Case closed.
I love how he still has to put together the breadcrumb of the smoking revolver.
The smoking revolver.
Oh, I've been shot. We never. My dad actually read this story, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't even really realize that he died at the end until I thought about it afterwards and went back and read." I was like, "Yeah, we never really say that he got shot. We just kind of imply it through the whole last paragraph."
Yeah. I mean, we could write a sequel.
Yeah.
He could be alive.
Skipper waited outside the apartment for hours, even after the police came and went, before finally heading home, unsure if he'd ever receive the call for when he was needed for another exciting case.
The end.
And that's why the name of this story was originally Skipper and Schubert, even though Skipper was not in it that much.
I like Skipper, though.
I guess he really was like the second or third most featured character, so I guess there's that, but oh man, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, that just has like such a good vibe. The tropes carried us through the entire first page.
Yeah, seriously, just everything, in his black and white high contrast apartment / office. The only thing we didn't ever mention was a Dutch angle. We should have said something about a Dutch angle.
Oh, damn.
Dutch angle, Dutch angle. Yeah. Some of our best.
Yeah, that one, it just captured the vibe, like, so perfectly.
Hell yeah.
Just a rose for the whole thing. And
yeah, that whole story gets a rose. I mean, mostly it's the dialogue for me.
Yeah.
The dialogue and the noir tropes, really any line he ever says is pretty good to me. She's all legs and way to go.
Well, like, I'm also impressed with the way the plot actually went, because, we didn't know what was going to happen the whole time.
Yeah, we had no fucking clue how we were going to end it.
But it all, like, wrapped up nicely. All the clues, quote-unquote, came together.
All the clues were just a fucking long-winded way for her to kill him. Anyway, I don't even know what her goal was when I really think about it. Like, why was she leading him on such a wild goose chase? What was her end goal? If it was killing him, why didn't she just do it when he was in the apartment? Just walk in there and shoot his ass.
True, but now she's, like, incriminated, right? I think it was to accomplish the goal without her being the one.
You're right. She was going to draw it out and make it look like an accident, but she just had to shoot him in the end. It was the only way.
Yeah. Because he found out. He caught her.
Yeah. He really didn't really catch her until after he was shot, to be honest. He didn't put all the dots together until he was dying on the floor.
Yeah, but she was scared.
And, nowhere in that story did we mention that he was a duck, but when we titled the story, we called it Skipper and Schubert, or Gum Schubert Ducktective. Private Detective. And that's when it's revealed that he was a duck the whole time. Or not, whatever you want.
Whatever you want. If you want to imagine that they were all ducks the whole time, that's perfectly fine with us.
Yeah, you can do that if you like. Real DuckTales scenario.
All right, we got two more here. We could skip Loose Yourself if you want, but
well, we've got a few more actually. We got the first one, we got the big reveal, we got Loose Yourself, but I say we just do.
No, I cut out big reveal. Oh, well, there's a bunch left, but I think we'll just do two more. We'll grab some more next time we do something like this.
What two do you want to do? I thought we were just gonna do Raindrop Between Worlds, Call It a Day.
Okay, I wanted to do that one last, but we could do Loose Yourself. It's very short. It's only a page.
Okay. Yeah, let's do Loose Yourself real quick. That was a test stream.
Yes, this was our first attempt to stream, and we were on Kick, but it kept, like, disconnecting and stuff. We just decided Kick was having issues.
We do not endorse Kick.
No. They screwed us over. This whole first one was ruined.
But I didn't have much time, and so we decided to do a very quick one. And this was the result of that. It is our only unfinished story.
That is true. We always finish our story, but this time we just dropped it.
Yeah, well, we didn't have the time, and so we were like, we'll just do as much as we can and get back to it if we want to, and we never wanted to.
Yeah, we never wanted to come back. I think.
And this also, I want to preface that this was probably our most combative story. Like, we were really fighting on the direction of the story the entire time. We'd go back and edit each other's sentences, fighting over whether or not it was a good. Yeah, we'll talk about it as we go.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is a good start here. We got Lark's quivering hands were sweating as he aimed his bow. His knees were weak and his eyelids were heavy.
Okay, so also the title of this story is Loose Yourself. And for some reason, I started putting lyrics from Eminem's Lose Yourself throughout this entire story because I thought it was funny, much to Caleb's chagrin.
Yes, we titled it afterwards. It wasn't because that was the title that you started doing.
Yes, titled it afterwards. All right.
The Proctors were bored with anticipation. The trials of the last few years had been mostly uninteresting, and they were starting to give up hope. The still dripping vomit on Lark's tunic. You can tell which sentences I wrote, and then you can tell which sentences Nick wrote. The still dripping vomit.
It was his mom's spaghetti.
Dripping vomit on Lark's tunic was not inspiring any more confidence in his abilities. It didn't help that the harsh, judgmental stare of Lark's teacher was burning holes in the back of his head. And then here's Nick again. He was nervous, but he knows he only has one shot and must remain calm in order to make it through the trial. Suddenly, Lark's hand
One shot.
steadied.
You cannot miss this chance to blow. Suddenly, Lark's hand steadied as he thought of the last thing his drunk father ever told him. This is another thing we were fighting over. You wanted his father to be giving him sage advice, and I wanted him to be a drunk failure.
Yes.
So, son, if you're ever in a high-pressure situation that requires your full attention, don't waste your brain power having a flashback in the middle of it. And also, keep your eye on the chickens, because you never know when they're going to egg. Wait, that's not it. It didn't make any sense at the time, but for some reason, it was really ringing true in this moment. He loosed the gnarled arrow and a small, wet toot while watching with bated breath.
Oh, God! Oh, fuck! My eyes! Screamed one of the small goblins. We had cut forward in time.
Another example of us fighting over it. I was saying, oh God, oh fuck my eyes, because I wanted him to fire the arrow so poorly that it hit a proctor or something.
Or his
but
dad.
Decided to make it a scene transition instead. But we'll get back to it.
Yeah, I think we explained it a bit here. Lark watched as his backup squad decimated. That was another argument there. I thought they were an elite squad, but no. They're in the...
I edited it to backup squad.
Decimated the numbers of the large village of small goblins. He felt a pang of guilt as he recalled the first person he ever shot with an arrow, his own father, during his graduation trial.
So his father was there as he's having a flashback about his drunk father.
Yes, apparently. He turned away. The screams of the goblins... the screams of the goblins reminded him of his father's squelching voice in his last moments as he gurgled through the bubbling blood, pleading for mercy from the gods to end his torment.
Yeah, that was me.
Haunted by the memory of his own actions and the sounds of the massacre taking place around him, Lark locked eyes with a pathetic goblin child hiding under a hut. The surprisingly rotund goblin's enormous, adorable eyes were pleading for mercy, just like his father's enormous, adorable eyes during the last agonizing moments of his life. Lark quickly scooped the goblin from beneath the rubble, held him gently, and made a desperate dash for the thick tree line. Thank the gods my squad sucks.
I've ever written the word thick with a K at the end.
The thick tree line. Thank the god my squad sucks at archery as much as I do, thought Lark as arrows landed mere miles away from him. Once Lark had breached the tree line, he was in his element. The ground beneath him felt like home as he marvelously maneuvered through the forest. He began to lose himself in the moment. The forest consumed him.
Lose himself in the movement. All right. Hours later, he laid in the glade, exhausted, gasping for air, honestly just done. The goblin looked up at Lark, his little face beaming, chubby cheeks perched at the corners of his ragged-toothed smile. He bared his adorably wretched teeth. Lark finally took a moment to take in his surroundings. As he scanned the edges of the glade, the adorable little goblin began poking his chest repeatedly. Suddenly, the child froze, as if paralyzed, and spoke in a bellowing voice that was not his own. Thank you. The child went back to innocently poking Lark as if nothing had happened. Whoa, what the fuck was that? Did you just say that? The child made no attempt to respond as it began checking between his toes as if it had never seen them before.
Very perfect action for the child.
This dumb child is but a vessel, an imbecilic, admittedly adorable, but pathetically profane vessel, boomed the otherworldly voice irritably as the big eyes stared up at Lark sweetly. After a moment's consideration, Lark responded, well, why would you choose such a vessel? Look, I don't like to talk about this.
Any sentence that starts with look, comma, it's gonna be good.
Look, I don't like to talk about this generally, but you seem like the kind of guy that might be able to relate. I really botched up my demonic possession exam. I accidentally possessed and destroyed my own father. It was pretty fucked up. Point is, I can only consistently possess dummies, straight poo brains.
As the two immediately bonded over their mutual embarrassing failures, acrid smoke from the burning goblin village began marching its way out of the forest around them. The child began sniffing at the air. Oh shit, boomed the demonic voice. That smells like that straight up fire. That good. Lark uncertainly took a whiff. Wait a minute, that does smell pretty dank. This smoke isn't from the goblin village. I think I see it coming up out of that hill over there.
And that's it.
And that's the end. But, you know, if we were to take a moment and think about where that story was going to go, he'd probably meet some hobbits, go and take a
it's
ring.
into like a wheat field.
He'd probably take a ring to a volcano and drop it in or something like that.
Yeah. I could see that. The goblin had the ring and like is obsessed with it and wants to steal it from him. And maybe he bites off his finger at the end and falls into the lava. I don't know.
Yeah. I think there could also be some like big bad guy in a tower that has like a flaming eye at the top.
Big flaming eye explodes at the end. Yeah, that's good. And then as the volcano explodes, after the ring gets thrown in, eagles come and take Lark away.
Nice. Yeah. And then you're like, why didn't we just use the eagles to get to the volcano in the first place?
Exactly. Well, we won't address it, or we'll let the fans speculate and let us know exactly why that's not the case. Eagles only come during the summer or whatever. I don't know.
It's pretty good stuff.
If anybody doesn't understand, this is a Lord of the Rings reference.
No, you weren't supposed to say it.
Well, I'm saying it.
If you don't understand, now you do, and you don't care.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, last story. Everybody's sit down around the storytelling area. Buckle up. This is a fun one. This is
one of our favorites. This one is Mind Merge 5. We named it Time Constrained because, again, I was on a schedule that didn't really permit a long story, so we decided to do one pretty much as fast as we could. We didn't really pause much, and something cool happened because this is a fun story. But it's called Mind Merge 5, Time Constrained. The title is The Raindrop Between Worlds, parentheses, and the worlds are titties.
Yeah, you can't see the title. It's too long.
You don't get it yet, but you'll understand it.
You'll get it later. There we go. I got the full title up. So real quick, I wanted to address something that Blue Moon Kraken said here, because I ignored his question earlier because he keeps asking, what would it take to unearth the first ever story? And
a lot.
It would take a lot. Like, it would take straight
First
up
of all,
bribery.
Even if it was unearthed, it wouldn't be streamed publicly. That's the real case of it.
Well, the first time he asked, he said, if you just showed me, I won't tell anyone, or something like that.
Nope, sorry, Kraken. Can't happen. So here's the deal. Once we have, what do you think? 1 million subscribers? I think 1 million's probably a good number.
1 million, yeah, that would be out of reach. So yeah, that's
once we cross 1 million subscribers and our Patreon is booming, we'll make a Patreon tier. Now that Patreon tier will be thousands of dollars to subscribe to that Patreon tier.
I think a flat 1,000 could do it.
I think it probably needs to be a monthly subscription of $1,000 while you do your search. Because what the $1,000 of Patreon will unlock is not the story, but a series of clues that leads to the story. That will be hidden, locked away in a geocached bunker, either at the bottom of the ocean or in some scary cave. You know, we'll decide later.
You know, if we have enough money from our 1 million subscribers, we might just shoot it up into space.
Fuck yeah, and we can do whatever we want because we'll have so much money at this point. So yeah, whenever we get to the 1 million subscribers and someone does the Patreon $1,000 tier, and they go on a quest finding the final story or the first story, then they can read it.
And then it'll explode in their hands after they finish reading it.
It will self-destruct once they're done reading it. So yeah, that's what it'll take, Blue Moon, if you're really curious.
So yeah, get the word out there. We need to hit 1 million subscribers.
Hit that 1 million, and then hit us with that 1K on the Patreon, and you can go on a quest that may lead to the first story.
No, it will lead to the first story. If you go through all that effort, we'll put it out there.
It'll be there.
Oh, well, he's gonna suggest another option, and we'll deny it, but we'll listen. We'll see what he's about to suggest.
I love other options, but I'm not gonna approve.
The first story we ever wrote, never to see the light of day, unless all of those requirements are met. The aforementioned requirements.
That is the only way, and I'm not really willing to budge on any of those requirements because that story shouldn't see the light of day, and so the only way that it will is if all that happens. I hope that answered your question, Blue Moon.
You are a trustworthy friend, Blue Moon Kraken, but no one, not even my own mama, can
No.
read the story.
No. Literally no one besides me and Caleb can read the story.
And we won't read it.
Well, yeah, we don't read it for fear of it infecting the rest of our stories. It's that powerful. I mean, it's powerful.
It will infect the minds of all who read it. It's like a world-ending virus stuck in a program.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure there's a reference to another Patreon account that we have in that story. So, there's that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, never gonna happen.
He wants to bribe us with food, but we only take cash, dollar, guala.
Blue Moon, I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the curiosity. Not gonna happen.
I feel like if we were to give you the story, you would just disappear and stop talking to us afterward. You'd be like, I got what I wanted. This is like the carrot.
Exactly. We're not gonna put out on the first date, Blue Moon. You gotta get 1 million subscribers for us and get that Patreon up and running, and then we'll talk.
He becomes our marketing manager just to read the story.
Yeah, it's gonna be a full-time job for sure.
Yeah, help me make some YouTube shorts later. All right, here we go. Everyone's settled. They got their snacks and.
Yep. The Raindrop Between Worlds and The Worlds Are Titties. Another alternative title for this story would be The Mad Cloud Lads. That's usually what we refer to it as.
Yes, we talk about this story all the time, and we refer to it as The Mad Cloud Lads because it really encapsulates the vibe.
Yep. All right, here we go.
Here we go. It looked like the mad cloud. Sorry. All right. It looked like the Mad Cloud Lads were ready to party. That meant rain. Lots of rain. To most, rain meant time to hunker down and chill out. But to the Mad Cloud Lads, it meant time for an epic rager. The rain gods were against these incessant ragers, but they wouldn't find out. The crew decided to convene at Todd's casa for the planning of the festivities.
What's good, bruh? Squelched.
Sure, squirted Todd. Wait, we had voices for all of them, dude.
I think Herbert's the nerd, right? Or Hubert. Hubert is the nerd, so...
Yeah.
What's good, brother? Or what's good, bruh?
Sheesh, squirted Todd. I heard the water nymphs were down to hang this evening, and they said they'd bring Nup Nup. Yup, to the Nup, my guy, Todd said as he threw up the shakas. I think Todd...
That's right, Chad. No, sorry. His name's Chad. That's right, Todd, you absolute mad lad. That nope, but... Oh, wait, no. And nope to the dope rope. Chad chimed in. Wait, no dope rope? Todd said as he lit the end of a braided twine, ready to take a fat rip.
Nah, bruh. Maxine got evaporated last week on that shit. Now she's swimming with the fishes, dog.
Squimpered Hubert.
Squimp. Oh, I almost left out the best part.
That was you.
Squimpered Hubert, sadly. Now she's...
Fuck those fishes, dog. Coughed Todd.
Yeah, man, they're always shitting in the water and shit. I drink that water. So rude. Squelched Chad with passion in his eyes.
Todd's eyes began to glaze over. He stared 100 yards as he muttered, I hope when I rain down, I hope when I rain down, I land on some mad lad's bong, and he takes a fat rip through me.
In some mad lad's bong.
Yeah.
Either
I
that...
hope first water drop to
No.
to
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I hope I become the first water to power a vehicle into space. I want to feel what it's like to be one with the void, Hubert says as he stared meaningfully up into the first stars of the night. Either that or I hope I land between some nice boobies.
Hang on,
Get your head out of the clouds, boys. We won't be raining anytime soon. We need to focus on how lit this storm is going to be. There will be plenty of time to worry about where we land when we finally fall someday. They're clouds. If you didn't catch this,
they're clouds.
Chad scolded, trying to rally his easily distracted friends.
Oh, I'm gonna be raining a whole lot, said. Oh, that's Hubert saying that? Oh, I'm gonna be raining a whole lot, said Hubert, the thickest of the bunch. I've been participating in No Rain November. Oh, yeah, brother. You're gonna be busting hurricanes out, my dude.
Yeah, brother.
Oh my gosh, Todd croaked
You're gonna
through
be busting hurricanes out there, my dude. Todd choked through another fat rip. He's just over there hitting the nope rope.
Yep.
Suddenly, rain god Rimblewind appeared above them. What's hanging, my dudes?
What's hanging, my dudes? Boomed his mighty voice. Y'all keeping it wet up in here? Thunder rained down upon unsuspecting woodland critters below. Oh, we're wet. We're wet as these water nymphs about to be at this party, Todd cheered. Shee!
Oh, yeah, shee!
Exclaimed Rain God Rimblewind, sending another clap of thunder down upon the poor creatures below. You better keep it out the view of the other rain gods. You know I'm chill. I'm practically hailing up in this bitch, but my fam might dry up this storm if they think you fellas are trying to turn it into another one of your classic flash flood fiestas.
Don't worry about us, Rimble bro. Started Todd.
With a dumb smile on his
face.
Hey, don't you fucking call me that again.
The powerful god screeched. Oh shit, my bad, Lord Rimblewind, mumbled Todd sheepishly. That's better. I'll be on my way. Keep it chill, y'all. And more importantly, keep it wet AF.
A cacophony of
thunderclaps shook the cloud realm as Rimblewind departed. Why'd you tell him about our party, you freaking knob? Chad squolded. They were all the way that they talked were squelched, squimpered, squolded as he hit Todd over the dome.
I don't know, man. It's so cool.
Just so cool. Well, regardless of how cool Rain God Rimblewind may seem, he sits among the pantheon of those rain boomers. Oh, that's Hubert. Well, regardless of how cool Rain God Rimblewind may seem, he sits among the pantheon of those rain god boomers. Hubert said as he pushed up his glasses, which shone light. Focus, boys.
Yeah, Chad, bring it back.
Epic. Chad rubbed his radical little hands together. Let's get wet. They all cheered as they headed to the Pantheon, the location of their epic ranger. They're going to party at the very Pantheon they're supposed to avoid. They're mad.
They're mad lads. Only mad lads. Absolute mad lad behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Elsewhere, a mysterious and tempestuous young witch was preparing to cast her largest spell yet. Mildred, get off the counter. Mommy's working. With a sweep of her arm, the cat was dethroned. Suddenly, a thunderclap boomed, shaking the various vials on the counter. Alicia froze. Fiddle foops. I better hurry. If I don't finish this before the storm, my magic will get all sorts of screwy. It needs to be finished before the volatile mixture of precipitation and raging mad lad hormones reaches its zenith. I know those dopes are probably already starting to turn up. They're about to get levels of wet and wild beyond human comprehension. She stared out the window for a moment as if trying to process the wild wetness that would be starting at any moment. Wait a minute, did you notice that everything froze for a minute there? Meow. Strange magic is afoot. She managed to squeak out of her weak vocal cords. Bat me that pine root beetle blood. Oh, you're such a good kitty. You want a treat?
Meanwhile, those devious mad lads were getting soaking wet at the Rager, right underneath the noses of the vengeful rain gods. Total mad lad behavior. Todd was out of his freaking mind, blitzed on that dope rope. Hubert had his arms around two water nymphs, while a third shook her wet lumps in his quill. Chad was mixing it up on the cloudy DJ booth. He looked over at Hubert and smiled lovingly at his boy. That nerd gets all the nymphs, he admitted as Hubert was led to the back room by the nymphs. That's my dude right there.
So good. It like fully encapsulates the whole party in just a few sentences. Like
it's my favorite paragraph. Fucking Todd over there blitzed out on dope rope. Hubert, the nerdiest of the crew, the fattest and nerdiest of the crew over there, chilling with all the water nymphs. as Chad mixes it up in the DJ booth.
Yup. Smiled lovingly at his boy. About 5 minutes later, a squelching was heard louder than normal squelching, and all the mad cloud lads in the room gave each other a knowing nod. Suddenly, the Pantheon began to shake, and a portal was opened above them, with sun directly on the other side. Their whirlwind of wetness was vaporized before being violently collected into various vials. Alicia wiped the sweat from her forehead and took off her safety goggles. "I've done it! I've captured the perfect mixture of stormy horniness. These will look lovely on my witchy shelf." As she placed the vials onto the shelf above the workbench, the cat eyed them playfully. Hubert dripped slowly down the nape of the witch's neck and nestled between her ample bosoms.
He got what he wanted.
That's what he asked for. That's what he said.
That's all he ever wanted.
Man between some boobies.
I love that story.
It's such a vibe.
Yeah, roses for me go to that one paragraph, honestly. The fact that he smiles lovingly at his boy as he admits that Herbert gets all the bitches. Like, it's just like he really says a lot. It says that him and, like, he's always kind of been jealous of Herbert, but he loves him. That's his boy, and so he's proud of him. It's good vibes, yeah.
I love using admitted as, like, the verb for speech.
It's perfect. It really sets the tone of how he feels about his boys.
Oh man! So this session today was a bit of a what do we call this when we go and we revisit
bit of a
our
departure.
What?
WeWrite, rewind.
Okay.
It's hard to say, but it's good.
That's cool. I
WeWrite,
like it.
rewind.
And we did it in December. This is sort of like a year end. I know it's only the 6th. We'll probably do one more before the end of the year, but
yeah.
Potentially 2. But yeah, it's just like the end of the year rewrite. Dang it, It's really hard to say. We write rewind. Oh fuck! I don't know if we can call it this. Too hard.
It's pretty bad.
You said it so easy the first time. I was like, nah, that's fine.
WeWrite, rewind.
Damn it. Oh man. It was a bit of a shorter session today, just 2 hours. That's nice.
I think that's good. I think they honestly should generally fall around 2 hours, 30 minutes, I feel like.
Impossible.
You're right. If we wrote them as short as we wrote, like, our first few, then we could do it. But those short ones, they don't have quite as much meat as our current ones do.
Yeah,
but it might be fun.
The AP 903 was just like one scene.
Yeah, and I have no idea how long it took us back then, but definitely a few hours. I don't really know for sure.
Yeah, that's mostly because we were doing that editing as like a essential part. Now it's just like, if you feel like it, go for it.
Yeah.
We've gotten fast and loose.
It's true. And so that was a glimpse back into our beginnings, our origin story, if you will. Obviously not the original origin story, because that, like I said, would never be revealed. But a little glimpse back into some of our earlier.
We can maybe work out some kind of a deal with Blue Moon Kraken.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But there's obviously a lot more horniness in those original stories. Definitely supposed to be taken in a lighthearted, fun fashion. But yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, everybody. This has been WeWrite Rewind. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks again, guys. It's been a great year. We've been having a lot of fun writing these stories. Thanks for anybody that tunes in or goes back and watches them.
Yeah. And if you made it this far, make sure you like and subscribe. We love you guys. And we'll see you next time on WeWrite. Have a good one, freaks and geeks.